Hello guys, welcome to Literature Journey to JRF. My name is Richa Panchal and you guys are warm-heartedly welcome to today's session. Today we are going to talk about a very important topic of literary theory, which is speculative fiction, sci-fi fiction and science fiction. Guys, we have already covered many important topics, many important authors and their works in detail. So if you have not watched those videos yet, then please do watch them. Now let's start. And the question is, identify the combination that belongs to the genre of sci fiction or speculative fiction. And the options are Vandana Singh, the woman who thought she was planet. B. Tehmina Durrani, blasphemy. C. Salman Rushdie, the satanic words. D. Priya Saruki Cabria, Generation 14. And Gautam Bhatia, the well. And the answer is A, B, and D. Vandana Singh, the woman who thought she was planet. B. Tehmina Durrani, and D. Priya Saruki Cabria, Generation 14. Now guys, speculative fiction. Speculative fiction is a literary supergenre and encompasses a number of different genres of fiction, each with speculative elements that are based on conjecture and do not exist in the real world. Speculative literature changes the law of what's real or possible as we know them in our current society and then speculates on the outcome. The term speculative fiction was coined by Robert Heinlein in 1941 in his essay on the writing of speculative fiction, which was published in 1947 after 6 years. The term was largely associated with the science fiction genre in late 20th century, as science fiction is widely read genre that contains speculative elements. The term expanded in 21st century to encompass more subjects like fantasy fiction and dystopian literature. Speculative fiction dates back to ancient Greece when Euripides explored alternate versions of truth. Guys, we are taking here examples to understand speculative fiction. In speculative fiction, alternate truth is also explored. As we can see, Medea, Euripides speculated a world in which Shamaness killed her own children rather than them being killed by Corinthians, where we knew the real truth. She killed her own children in rage, not to save them from Corinthians. Stories like William Shakespeare's A Midsummer Night's Dream and J.R.R. Tolkien's The Lord of the Ring also considered speculative fiction, even though the term did not exist. Now we are going to discuss genres included in speculative fiction. Sorry. First is science fiction. Stories with imagined technologies that do not exist in the real world, like time travel, aliens, and robots. The second one is sci-fi fiction. Stories inspired by mythology, folklores, and fairy tales that that combines imagined technologies with element of magical realism. Now, urban fantasy fiction. We are going to discuss some more fictions under speculative fiction. One of them is urban fantasy fiction, in which fantasy stories that take place in an urban setting in the real world but operate under magical rules. Now, utopian fiction, stories about civilization, the authors deemed to be perfect, ideal societies. Now, dystopian fiction, on a very important fiction. Stories about societies deemed problematic within the world of novel, often satirizing government rules, poverty, and oppressions. Now, apocalyptic fiction. Stories that take place before and during a huge disaster that wipes out a significant portion of the world's population. The stories center around the character doing everything they can to stay alive. For example, running from zombies or trying to avoid a deadly plague. Now, the post apocalyptic fiction. Stories that take place after an apocalyptic event and focus on survivors figuring out how to navigate their new circumstances. Now, alternate history fiction. Stories that focus on true historical events but are written as if they unfolded with different outcomes. And now, last, superhero fiction, as clear by the name superhero fiction, in which stories about superheroes and how they use their abilities to fight supervillains. Guys, Margaret Atwood defines speculative fiction as literature that deals with the possibilities in society which have not yet been enacted but latent. Guys, if you find my video helpful, then please do like, share, and subscribe, because it was all for today. And we are going to cover more important topics in detail. So please be with us. Thank you.